Okay, to replace a force plate load cell, the first thing you'll want to do is get your Phillips screwdriver, flip the force plate over, undo these 6 Phillips screws. I like to use just the hand driver so that you don't risk stripping out the load cells, which can happen. Then you flip your force plate back over, and you're going to take the 8 screws on the lid off. Grab your torque driver. You're going to want to turn it up to the maximum torque because these screws are very tight in, but you'll want to put pressure down as you're doing it. You can remove the lid with the metal plate inside and set those both aside. Then you can unplug the load cells from the board, take the bad load cells, set those aside. Take your new cells one at a time, and then you'll start with the Phillips screws. So what I like to do is to flip it kind of to the side, and then with one hand you can hold the cell in. You can arrange it so that you line up the holes, and then you can put the screws in. Now you don't want to put the screws in all the way because you'll tighten those at the end after you do the top screws. By leaving it loose, it gives a little bit of give and play so that you can get the top screws in. That's one down, and then just do the same thing with the other one. There may be other methods to getting these screwed in. I find just holding it with one hand is the best. Again, I'm going to leave these screws a little loose so that they have some give. Then you'll want to make sure that you get the logo side where it says AMP on the top. That's going to go on the connector in the force plate here. And then here. Now, very importantly, you'll want to tape these wires down so that they don't get pinched up in the load cell itself. So I usually just use some electrical tape. Just a couple small pieces to keep this from moving around. Alright, and if these are all secured, then you just put the lid back on. Now, when you put the lid back on, you'll want to do a couple things. First, take your driver, bring it back down to about a 5 torque, because if you're at max torque, you're going to really rail those in. And then you'll want to do a star pattern, So I start at 1/4. That way it gives even pressure. Once those are all in, then the last thing you do, flip this back over and just tighten down these screws. And that's it.